Good morning and welcome to week 3 of 7 Habits for 7 Weeks. This week, as you know, it's all around nutrition. And I'm going to ask that we focus on 3 areas this week and understanding these 3 areas. The first one is around glycolysis. So understanding that from a metabolic state perspective, we have one of 2 metabolic states that the body is in. We're either in glycolysis, where we're primarily fueled by carbohydrates. So think rice, bread, pasta, fruit, grains, anything with a high carbohydrate content. If we're eating lots of carbohydrates, then we're primarily in the state of glycolysis. As soon as we start to remove those out of our diet and pull the carbohydrates out of our diet, it gives our body the ability to flip over into ketosis, where we can start to access and use our stored body fat for energy. So this week it's about understanding those 2 metabolic states, and then once we have the ability to be able to move from being in glycolysis to ketosis really easily, that's called metabolic flexibility, and sometimes it's called becoming fat adapted. So those 3 things are what we really want to focus on this week and really understand that. Understand glycolysis, understand ketosis, and understand this concept of metabolic flexibility. And I'll post as much information as I can around that. The other thing that I'll do is I'll put a document up which is one way of transitioning from being in glycolysis and eating a standard Australian diet recommended in the nutritional guidelines that probably has around 1/3 of our plate as carbohydrate. So how do we transition from that across into a ketogenic diet? And I'll provide a document which shows a really simple way of doing that, where for the first week all we do is pull the carbohydrates out of breakfast. The second week we pull it out of our breakfast and out of our lunch. And then the third week, we pull the carbohydrates out of breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And over that time, it gives our body the ability to be able to nicely transition across into a ketogenic state. And I'll share a heap of other videos and resources, but this is where it's super important, again, that you've spoken to your doctor about